Welcome to another episode of the Elevated Barbers Podcast. My name is Bradford Kelly, aka the business minded barber and the owner of Another Level of Barbering. And last but definitely not least, the co host of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. And I'm here with.
This is Delmar, aka the Prince, owner of Royal X Grooming, also co-host of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.
All right, today we are going to have a very good discussion. I think that this is a discussion that everybody needs to talk about. And this is the war that we are having inside the barber and the beauty industry in regards to enhancements
It's a
and the
civil war,
world
bro.
of enhancements.
It's a
Are you
civil war.
making your haircuts look better than what they really are? Are you enhancing what you already did? Delmar, let's talk about this because from what I understand, you weren't one of the pioneers of enhancements, but you definitely were using enhancements before me. So when did you get into enhancements? Like when did what do you remember what year?
I don't remember the year, but when I first got into the industry, the big enhancements that everybody was using was Beijing. I'm quite sure you remember Beijing.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
that.
old school,
Yeah. Old
old school.
school.
So I remember one of the barbers out of Atlanta, which is like the mecca of barbering and hair. I can't remember his name, but he used to cut a lot of celebrities, a lot of different rappers and ball players, and he would use. I remember his name, Bobby's World. It's
Mm,
throwback. You got to go to
yeah.
YouTube to look it up, but um, Bobby's World. He would use enhancements. He would use the Beijing, and
Now, for those that don't know, what is Beijing?
Beijing is a permanent hair dye. When I
Yeah,
say
it's permanent
permanent, it does come out, but it just will last longer than your usual
semi.
semi-permanent.
Yeah.
And it's kind of waterproof at least the first one or two times.
Mm,
So um me and Trey would always, we followed Bobby's World on YouTube, and we'd be like, man, how you get his cuts that sharp? We thinking it's the liners, we thinking it's the razor, which
yeah.
that does have a play into it because your cuts, you should have the skill level before even applying the enhancements. Like your cut should look like a finished product before applying enhancements. The enhancements are solely to enhance the look of the cut, not to make the cut.
Right.
So like his cuts would be perfect
That's where the
A1.
war is in. That's where the
Yeah,
war is
that's
at.
where the war is at, and we're gonna talk about
We're gonna
that.
talk about it. Yep. All right, keep
But
going.
so his cuts would look perfect, and it was like flawless. So he was like one of the first people I knew that was charging $100 for a haircut. So um, that was something that I was interested in. I know I played around with Beijing just on my own head. I've been cutting my own hair since I was 17, but I played around with Beijing and I actually liked it, and it does enhance the look. And you can play sports, you can sweat, you can do whatever. You can even submerge yourself in the swimming pool if you want to
Yeah.
the with the Beijing in. But
Yeah.
that was something that I liked, and I knew that if I learned to apply Beijing or apply enhancements properly, that it could take my cuts to the next level. But I will say, before trying to learn enhancements, you should really, master your skills, master your craft before applying enhancements because you don't want to depend on enhancement. You don't want to be an enhancement barber. And I'll expound on that later.
Okay. All right. I like these gems he's dropping. I like these gems. But keep going. But well,
So
let me ask you a question on that though. So with Beijing and you talk about it sounds like it's just the perfect thing. It sounds like it's the perfect thing. So how come you don't use it now or do you still use it?
no, I still use it. So I don't use Beijing. I use Kiss Express, which
Yeah.
it comes in a tube. You can just pour it into your color applicator.
Like a
And
airbrush machine or
so
what?
I'll talk about that too because you can make it a semi-permanent. So the way that I do it is,
Where you mix it with a little alcohol?
yeah, I mix it with alcohol. So you basically diluting the permanent hair color with alcohol, and you put it in the airbrush gun and apply it.
Okay. All right. And you just got to know your measurements, I guess. Then
I kind of eyeball it, so I cheat. Uh, I'm not gonna say the company's name, but this company, they kind of make their own semi-permanent to put
yeah,
in the spray gun. It makes it, easy. But I was like, wait, why am I keep spending money on this when I can just mix the permanent that I have with alcohol and just shake it up?
yeah, that's
So
true.
I
Hey,
do a little
do
under
you
half.
do you feel like we should not use name brands? I mean, you already done drop kisses.
Okay, so the company is Tune 45.
I used
So
Tune 45.
Tune 45 is actually good, but
They nice.
they pretty good. But I was like, I have the containers already. Just put the Kiss Express in it and mix it with alcohol. So I do a little bit under half, and then the rest alcohol, and it comes out perfect every time.
All right, I might have to fellowship that strategy. But another company that I got introduced to was Heavy. You know
Hmm.
Heavy?
No, I never heard of them.
It's Hevie, and I literally just got put on to it at the expo that I went
Hmm.
to a couple weeks ago. So
Is it
his
new?
his is it new?
Yeah.
It might be. I know I haven't. He's popular on Instagram and stuff like that, but I don't follow him. His energy is a little different for me, but he's very passionate about what he does, and he's like a skilled. From what I've seen, I don't really follow the guy, but
Right.
from what I've seen, he has a like a good cutting skill set and all of that stuff. But he does use. He has his own brand, Heavy,
Okay.
and so I bought one from him, and honestly, man, it's nice. It's nice. And one thing that I like about uh his is that how Tune 45 it's almost like there's like a powder in there or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like it's something that clogs the air gun.
Mm-hmm.
He, Heavies doesn't have that, whatever that is. So you know how Tune 45, you have to shake it up, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to shake it up to get the mixture, getting all that stuff. And then if you have any form of water in the airbrush gun, it'll come out a little bit ashy. Like when you spray it, it'll
Hmm.
it'll almost separate the powder from the solution something. And
Ashy though.
no, real talk. Like real talk. It comes out like you'll notice more gray.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be like hazier. I don't know how to explain it. It
Yeah.
comes out
Ashy is cool.
ashy is cool, like
Yeah,
ashy
Ashy is
Harry.
cool.
But yeah, so it comes out a little bit like that. Like I've had to redo some of the stuff because I've put it in there and I might have had like some water still
Mm-hmm.
in there after I had tried to clean it out. And I just put the stuff in there, and then when I spray it, it's got this like gray haze to it a little bit,
Mm.
and I don't like that. So I'll do it over. But heavies, you don't have to do that. It's like it's almost pure liquid, and you don't have to shake it up before you use it. So those are
Right.
just a couple different options that people can use. All of them work well, though. All of them work well. Even the kiss and alcohol combo works
Yep.
well. I've seen it done on YouTube, but I've never tried to do it. I was always kind of like mentally handicapped in regards to thinking I was gonna get the solution right or like
Mm-hmm.
the ratio right. But now that you done gave me your equation, I'm gonna try the formula.
Yeah, yeah, I like doing it that way. And then there's all kinds of enhancements. There's another one, hair fibers, but you have to be careful which hair fibers you get. Because I just noticed this recently.
Yeah.
Um, y'all don't judge me, but I was using a powder based hair fibers.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, but oh, this is I'm yeah, okay, we're gonna get to that. I
Yeah,
just had a
yeah, yeah.
thought. Yeah, I just had a thought. But so with the powder is cool, but it's very obvious if you cake it on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this company called Hair Illusions. They just reached out to me like a month ago. I'm waiting on them to get back to me. Um, so Hair Illusions, they actually have little small hair fibers, and it's
Mm-hmm.
different than the powder based hair fibers.
Yeah.
So and it looks more natural. Like I like that. So I think I'm hair illusions. I'm not by any means promoting them because they
Which
reached out to me, but they are it's high quality. I'll say that.
now the one that I use, and I guess we just giving away secrets today. The one
It's
that
all
I
right.
use is actually it has hair fibers as well, and it's called Eclipse. Have you
Hmm.
heard of Eclipse?
Never heard of them.
Woo!
You put me
Woo!
on
Yeah.
game, brother.
Oh,
You put
yeah.
me on game.
Yeah. No, I've been using Eclipse from the foundation of my fiber journey, but I was just like, but they are kind of expensive. And
Mm.
I was just like,
So it's hair
man,
illusion.
I was just like, let me see if I can find some cheaper versions of this, right? And so I bought some stuff. Instantly, I was like, oh no, like,
Yeah.
oh no, like it sprayed out gray. Like it's it sprayed out hazy looking.
It
It had
came out
that
ashy.
foggy effect, huh?
It came out ashy.
It came out ashy, yeah. And it's the this is that fiber, the powder. It came out ashy. And then on another thing that I noticed is that I don't even know how to say it. It wouldn't,
Wait, when you
huh?
say when you say ashy, so like somebody colored some baby powder and put in the container.
Yeah. Yes, man. Like they tried to just color some baby powder, like put some dye in there real quick, but didn't fully mix it.
Yeah, they
Like,
ain't fully mix it.
yeah, man. But yeah, those I was able to notice, and I'm not gonna drop the brands that I bought that were that didn't come up to the par, but
Hmm.
there's a few brands, man, that you could get, and some of them are promoted by barbers too. Like some of them are
Hmm.
promoted by barbers, and it might be their own program, their own stuff, but it just don't hit the way that real true hair fibers hit
Right.
um when you use it. And another thing that I liked about the brand that I use is that when you use it, like it literally attaches to the hair. So
Mm.
it thickens up the hair follicles that are present, especially
Hmm.
if there's like loose vellus hair or low vellus hair,
Hmm.
that baby hair stuff that you can't really see, but when you apply the fibers to it, it attaches.
Hmm.
It works very well in that regard.
Yeah, put me on game, man. Maybe I had to try out what's this called? Eclipse.
Eclipse, man. I
Okay.
that was the first one that I got turned on to. You know who turned me on to that?
Who?
You might not know him though. His name is Geo. Geo. I'd have
I,
to pull it up, but he
is he
on.
in the Bay?
Yeah, well, not Bay, but in California, he's in Pacifica
Okay. I
or
think
Oceanside.
I might have run across his page on IG.
Yeah, Geo Cuts, GIO, I believe Cuts.
Okay. Look, I want to get straight to the point about
Okay, we getting to the war.
enhancement. Yeah, we getting to the war, brother.
Let's
We
get
getting
to
to
the
the war.
fight, man.
Let's get
Get
to
to
the
the
fight.
fight.
So, man, there's this big talk, big conversation. I'll say conversation. There's this conversation on social media, IG, between the barbers who use enhancements and the barbers who don't. Now, I just want to put this out there and say, if you use enhancements, cool. Nobody cares because you're not trying to please other barbers, you're trying to please your customer. So if you have a customer that come to you and you're totally against and I'm trying to be careful how I say this, but if you're totally against enhancements, well then they're just going to find somebody who does it because that's what they really want.
Hmm.
People may want to cover up, thin spots, bald spots, or whatever. And if you don't apply that, if you don't offer that service, then they're like, hey, I can't keep rocking these big cow licks or these bald spots. I want to, get this covered up. And then two, if you don't use enhancements, cool. Like if that's your market and you don't use enhancements, cool. But what I want to say is whether you use enhancements or you don't use enhancements, don't, don't bash the people who don't do either or. So
Yeah,
if you use enhancements, don't bash the people who are all natural. If you're all natural, don't bash the people who do enhancements.
yeah,
Like it's all part of barbering. I think we get too serious and too attached to certain way to do things, or this might be an
What
old
we
school.
do.
Yeah, it a old school mechanism. Like, oh, I'm a real barber because I don't use enhancements. So what? Like,
Yeah.
so am I not a real barber because I don't use enhancements? Like, this is a part
Because
of
I
art,
do.
right?
Yeah.
This is a part of art. So some barbers, they just see, barbering as cutting hair. That's cool. But there's other barbers out there, such as myself, who see barbering as an art form.
Yeah.
And then two, using enhancements is a service. It's a way to make extra money
Yep.
if you're, applying enhancements, whether it be the fibers or whether it be semi-permanent or whether it be the Jalen Rose permanent. Shout out to
Right.
Jalen Rose.
That shoe polish. Get
Yeah.
him.
It be polished too, but it
Yeah,
be
you do.
clean.
It be clean.
It
What's
be
his
super
name?
clean.
Andy Authentic. What's
Yep,
his
Andy
name?
Authentic. Andy Authentic
Yeah.
has cut
He
it,
be having him
and
crispy, but it do be looking like a Lego cap.
a Lego
It's
cap.
just so it's because he light skinned, I think,
Yeah,
and it be so black. It's so black.
yeah. Well,
But
he light skinned. The hair is dark, and I want to talk about that too because that's a educational point that I feel like a lot of barbers don't understand.
you educate me, bro. Maybe I don't get it.
So we're gonna get to that. But with
Okay.
Jalen Rose,
Y'all heard him. He
his
just told me to hold on for a second.
I got to finish my thought.
Okay.
So Jalen Rose is lighter complected, and his hair is dark. His hair is black. So that's I'm gonna get to that later.
But
But
it ain't straight black. Like he get that color,
well, he got a few grades in that. He's a little older now.
but it's a strong color.
It's a strong color, but also what makes the color pop too is the color pencil. So that's a new thing that's probably come out. I won't say it
Yeah.
came out in recent years, but it became popular in recent years because I remember people using the color pencil like 10, 15 years ago to fill
Okay.
in their designs to make the designs look
That little
sharper.
white, the white lines,
Yeah,
the
basically it's
white.
an eyeshadow pencil. Like that's what
Yeah.
people was using.
Yeah.
So but you have to be careful how you use that too, because some people will use a white and you have somebody that's my color complected and it's obvious. Like you should match tones. So don't use something that's white. Maybe use more of a nude tone, you know?
Yeah. Good
Um
word. Nude or like a yellowish e.
yeah.
No.
But nah, not
What
yellow. Not on
what
my
about?
complexion.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
not on you.
yeah,
Not
I'm
on
like
you.
like a Steelers helmet. Yeah, not on my complexion. But
Oh
the
man.
thing I want to say, since we're talking about color, is I see a lot of barbers, they will use black and they put black on everybody,
Everything. Yeah.
and it's obvious. It's like blatantly obvious. The purpose of enhancements is to enhance the cut and to make it look natural still, not for it to look like it was, obviously enhanced. I mean, of course, you're going to be able to tell, but it shouldn't be like, oh my God, he got enhancements. It should be
Yeah.
like subtle, you
Yeah.
know? So, but most people hair, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but most people hair is dark brown, not
Yeah.
black.
It's not black.
Yeah.
It's never
And
been black.
although it looks black, now there's some people who do have black hair, but it's not as popular as people think to
Yeah.
have black hair. It's almost like having red hair. I mean, it's not as bad, but um, most people hair is dark brown or some shade of brown. It's
Yeah.
not jet black. Um, so they will use a jet black fiber or a jet black semi or permanent, and it's like completely noticeable. But what I tend to do is I try to match to the tone of the hair as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing the semi permanent, I mix the black with the dark brown, and it makes it
Mm.
look natural.
Got
you
you.
know.
Yeah.
So I wish we would do better with that as barbers. And some people do, but a lot of the people who are applying enhancements are just, I mean, they may not know, or it just sometimes mistakes are made because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
Now,
why we had this podcast, is to try to educate people, and we still learning ourselves.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you just put me on game today about how to use Kiss a little bit better. So, have you ever colored somebody's hair to create the hairline?
Uh,
Because
what do you
that's
mean?
a technique that I've been noticing. It's almost as if you create the hairline
Mm-hmm.
with the color. Like
And then
so,
you go
Kiss,
back in line,
huh?
and then you go back in line.
No, like you line them first. Like you almost pretty much finish the cut.
Mm-hmm.
You finish the cut, line them up, you get them nice and crisp. Then you go back behind that and you color it and you let it sit and you protect what you have already done by using like Vaseline or something like that, just like we learned about with regular color. You go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and you protect the hairline with the Vaseline or whatever protectant you may use,
Mm-hmm.
but you're literally dyeing the hairline.
So it's kind of like staining the scalp.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
I haven't done it with the permanent, but I do have a client that comes in and he's real thin in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and he still wants to get a haircut. So we make that possible. So I will finish the cut, do the shampoo, and then line them up. And then I know where his line is, so I make so my process of color application is first I stain the skin with the semi permanent,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's a service that includes fiber, so I'll stain the skin with the semi permanent, and then I'll double coat it with the hair fibers.
So when you stain it, are you have like an applicator brush that you're using to apply it,
No,
or what do
no,
you?
no, no. This is just because I offer two different services for that. So I offer the one with the semi permanent, and then I offer one with the permanent. But the guy I'm talking about is the semi permanent. He don't do the permanent.
So when you saying that you stain the scalp, you're still using the airbrush.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And then we fill in this line that way, and then layer it on top with the fibers.
okay, yeah. I actually have you ever did it the other way around,
The
where
fibers first, and then the
fibers
color.
first and then the I do that with a couple of my clients, and what they've told me, and you could probably experiment and see if it works for you. But
Mm-hmm.
what they've told me is that because one thing about hair fibers that is a benefit is that it helps things look natural.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just strictly use the Kiss, or if I strictly just use the Tune 45 or strictly just use the heavy
Mm-hmm.
alone, it has a shine to
Yeah,
it when
yeah.
it's applied to the skin directly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you get the staining of the skin, that look, you'll get it, and it has like this shine to it which appears as not natural.
Mm.
And so one thing that I've done is I flipped it where I'll put the fibers on first. I'll put the fibers on first and kind of let that sit, and I'll know exactly where I'm gonna be able to apply the what is it called, the
The
color,
fibers, the color.
the
Yeah.
color. Yeah. So
Okay.
and then I'll airbrush after that. I'll
See.
airbrush after I do the fibers.
Okay, I had to try it that way, and I guess the reason why I haven't done it that way is because before me finding out about the hair illusions, the actual fibers, I was
Mhm.
using the powder based fibers,
It'll blow
and
away.
yeah, it'll blow away. As soon as you could breathe on it, and it's gone. Yeah, so
Yeah. No, the hair fibers, they stick. They
okay,
stick. They're not stuck. Don't get me wrong. Like if you
right.
if you have your velocity up too high on your airbrush machine and you get too close, it'll move it for sure.
Right.
But one trick that I've learned is, obviously you protect the area that you want to spray with a business card or
Mhm.
whatever apparatus that you may use to cover the skin that you don't want to get covered.
Mhm.
um and then I start spraying from a distance and I'll come in closer, so that way
Mm.
like the pressure, like the fibers are getting hit from a distance and they're already being saturated by the time I get close. Now i'm not
Right.
i'm not even going like skin to skin with it,
Right.
but I hit it so it kind of creates a little bit more of a weight, so
Mhm.
when I do get closer, I'm just layering it on top of it. So that's another little trick.
It's like
Man,
you
we
just
out here
gradually
giving,
get closer.
yeah, really giving good game today. It's almost like enhancements wars, but how to use it properly,
Yeah, how to
you
use it
know?
properly. And that's the
Yeah.
key, man. It's no knock. We got to stop the barber hate, man. Like, just let people
Yeah,
do what they do. But don't knock somebody because you're completely against something and you don't like that this person or this group of barbers is doing it. Like,
yeah.
to each their own, man. It's all art, and how you see art and how your clients see your art is all that matters.
But what's crazy is, like you said, like some people see this as art and other people don't. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like I personally, I'm not an artist, so I don't
Hmm.
look at it as art. I don't be like, oh yeah, this is my self-expression. I just want to see how how I can create things. Like that's not
Right.
even my motive. Like, right? I'm trying to create a
A
happy
good
client.
service.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I'll try to create a happy client. I want them to be pleased with the work that I've done so that they can go out there and feel confident for themselves, connect with the people that they need to connect with, go on their job interviews, go on their dates, go on they and live their life
Right.
feeling better than when they came, because I've enhanced their image, which has enhanced their, personal
Confidence.
view of themselves. Yeah, their confidence.
Yep.
So
And I think for me, I come from the art sense because I used to draw. I started drawing when I was 5.
I've never been able to
So
draw.
yeah, see that. So it's art for me. Like, once I started cutting hair, I stopped drawing. So being a
Mm,
barber kind of took the place of me drawing, and I just love all forms of art. I love music.
yeah.
I love drawing. I
He's a
love
drummer,
painting.
people. He's a drummer.
Yeah, 24 years strong.
That's right. He
But
good
yeah,
too.
nah, I
But
stopped it.
I like the balance that you're presenting that we should have in the industry, because like you said, there's so much barber hate and there's so much comparisons. Like we
Hmm.
compare ourselves to so many different people because we see it. We see it
Hmm.
on Instagram, we see it, and you have to really get past your desire to compete with another barber. Like that's not your competition. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you're competing for the attention of your client. So you just focus on your client, focus on who's in your chair and what
Right.
they want, and being a benefit to that person. Because at the end of the day, that barber is not paying your bills. Your barber is not incorporating any aspect of assistance to your financial status at all.
Yeah.
And
Not only that, like, those other barbers that you're trying to appeal to, they probably not even paying attention to your page. One, and two, they're not coming to sit in your chair. Well, I
yeah.
got a barber colleague who comes sit in my chair. So shout out
Oh,
to
nice.
Jamal the barber. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, so but yeah, the main thing is, man, just client attraction.
Yeah.
You know, so
Focus on the clients you got in your chair and do what allows them to be happy and makes you money. That's what you got to focus on.
yeah, stop the hate.
Stop the hate. Stop hating, man. Stop the
Speak,
hate
speak.
campaign.
Speaking of hate, man, I think this is a perfect segue to move into the next subject, which is, and I know you and I kind of talked about this a little bit last night. So,
What?
um, just so how do you feel about? And trust me, people, when we put this out there, like we both understand it. Like, you know, knowledge is information is something that people will pay for if it's going to be beneficial to their growth. So I understand the reason for why barbers do this. So don't think I don't. But man, it can be somebody in a whole nother state. So, like, say for instance, Brad has some information that I see him posting videos and I see what type of service he's doing, and I reach out to Brad. I don't know Brad, so if I
Hmm.
reach out to Brad and I
Role
say,
play.
hey, Brad, I noticed you did this, you're doing this, like, what are your steps, if you don't mind sharing? I always say, if you don't mind sharing, because if not, that's cool. Like I said, I understand. But if Brad were to be like, nah, I don't want to share, pay for my course. All right, cool, I understand that. But
But do you understand it
no,
though?
I do understand it, because I mean, if that's how you make your money, then that's cool. But it could be like something simple, like, oh man, how you do this hot towel process. I'll throw
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
simple out there. It's hot towel process. And like, I'm no threat to you. Like, we in a whole nother state, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people would literally be like, nah, or they just won't come in, or whatever. I'm not telling you this. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm no threat to you. Like, we're not even in the same state. I'm not close to you. Like, and I'm a firm believer of whatever is for you is for you. Like, can't nobody else, take what you have built. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be worried about that anyway. Like, um, that stuff I don't worry about anyway. Like, I'm not worried about nobody taking my clients because, you know, this industry you will lose people, but you also gain people too.
Yeah.
So every step I've taken to elevating, I've lost people who, that's cool. But then I've also gained people who
Yeah.
were, willing to be at that next level with me. So I I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Let's talk about it, B.
So I'm of two different minds on this. And the reason why is sometimes it's not about competition. It's not about you competing with me. It's about me holding on to what I feel like is making me special. And
Hmm.
so I don't want other people to be able to provide the same thing that I'm. It's not about competition, it's more so about ownership.
Okay.
So that's one angle of it. That's one angle of it. But then you have also the other angle of it, which is a lot of times the case. It's more of an insecurity thing where it's not about intellectual property or something that's signature to your brand, signature
Hmm.
to who you are and what you do, and you're not trying to share that so everybody can do it. It's more of, like you said, like you feel like if I give away my little trade secrets, you know, then you're gonna be trying to take my clients or
Hmm.
something like that. And it's like, get over yourself, bro. Like it ain't about that. Like you said, I'm in a whole different state, totally different zip code. I don't even got no relationship to your clients.
Right.
I'm trying to provide a better experience for the clients that I have, and I appreciate what you're doing. So if you don't mind
Hmm.
helping, let me almost spread the message to a certain degree. So I'm of different minds, and it's really a person being able to be, I would say, really conscious of their own value.
Hmm.
If they feel that what, like we just talked about how to apply enhancements, right? We just talked about different ways that we do it, yada yada yada. None of that stuff is brand, like my brand.
Right.
None of it's what I do, it's services that I provide, but none of it is just like this makes me who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Some people really associate the work that they do to who they are and their brand, and it's like I can't give that away.
Hmm.
When in reality, that should be stuff that you should give away, because you should have more to your to who you are than what you do only, like
Right.
the services that you provide. You should have a deeper depth than that. But sometimes people don't, and they're it's almost like they're trying to give it, you're asking them to give up their identity, and
Hmm.
they can't do that. They're like, nah, I can't give you who I am.
Yeah.
So maybe that gives you a little insight into like the couple of different reasons why people can or cannot do that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. And like I said, man, I understand. Some things is business purposes, business related, or it may be related to your brand.
Yeah.
But the stuff that's not attached to your brand, like what is it gonna hurt you to,
Yeah.
give somebody advice? This person may have you making trade value. You may
Yeah.
have something valuable. I may have something valuable. Hey, look, man, I do this way. Man, how you do that?
Yeah.
We just trade like that.
Do you know it's such a benefit if you understand that when somebody asks you a question, like they reach out to you for whatever, it don't matter what it is, that that is a door to an opportunity that you can't see yet.
Hmm.
Period. No matter what it is. It don't matter who's asking, how old they are, whatever. It's a door to an opportunity that you cannot see. And if you wrap your mind around that, when people ask you for favors or they ask you for insight into what you're doing, you may not give them the answer right away. You might need to do a little bit of digging into who this person is,
Hmm.
right? And say, oh, yeah, I've been doing barbering for such and such amount of years. It's a little trade secret that I got. What services do you provide? And you build a relationship on the things that you don't know and find a common ground, because as I'm understanding about networking, networking is different connections that you're able to make that you can have be able to work for you in the future. So you have to cast the net, right? Make the connections, and then once you make the connections, you work on those relationships so that that net will eventually start to work for you, and you'll be able to eat more. Like in hunting and all of that stuff, people they create nets, cast it into the sea so that they can capture fish easily. Like they don't have to sit out there and hunt all the day and trying to
Hmm.
spear fish. They just cast a net.
Yep.
And so that's what we're doing when we're connecting with different barber and beauty professionals in this industry, is you're casting your net. And if you have a lot of different connections, at some point that connection will be a benefit to you. So if you treat your net properly, you create it the right way, then at some point you're gonna catch a fish. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you're gonna catch something that's gonna allow you to eat more. That's what I mean. When I say eat more, I mean make more money. So you when you do those things, it's really take advantage of the opportunity, man. Like never try to hold somebody down to keep yourself up. Like
Hmm.
that's not the way that you want to approach it. If you start to learn how to lift people up, then you'll always notice that you're elevating yourself. Like you're
Hmm.
continuously going up because you're able to assist people. If you wouldn't be able to assist people if you wasn't maturing and elevating yourself.
Right. And that's gyms. Gyms. And I ain't talking about no workout gym. Gym.
Right.
Yeah, man. So we gonna go ahead and wrap up. But before we leave, give me your top two favorite Clippers right now.
Top two favorite Clippers. I only have one. Babyless.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't. I have not. I bought the new Cocos, but I haven't used them yet, so I can't say whether or not they on my top two list. But all I have right now is Babyless. I got Babyless trimmers, Babyless liners. I think I got Andis, like the shavers, like the close shavers or something.
Hmm.
But I'm Babyless all day right now.
Okay. For me, I would say Babyless, not in no specific order, but Babyless and also Stylecraft or Gamma, which they're the same company. So Stylecraft Gamma. The
Mm.
reason why I like to use those two, like I don't have any Andes on my station anymore. I
Yeah,
feel like
they
Andes,
died during the pandemic, bro.
yeah, yeah. They, as far as like when everybody started going cordless, I feel like Andes kind of
They
died
dropped the
off.
ball.
And then maybe we can get Kenny Duncan on the show in the future to, maybe talk about
Protect your
Andes.
brand, man.
Yeah, protect your brand, Kenny.
Protect your brand. Somebody tag him in this video.
Oh, I'm
Tag
gonna
him in
make
this
sure I
video.
tag him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make
tag him
sure I
in his
tag him.
video. He got to protect the brand because we all respect Andis,
Yeah,
but in a historical fashion. Like
yeah, yeah.
we respect what you all did,
Like
but
plugged
right
into the
now,
wall, nothing messing with Anderson wall. Nothing messing with
yeah,
Anderson wall. Straight from that wall power, ain't nothing messing with Anderson wall. But
yeah,
ever since the new technology, I feel like Anderson has gotten, progressively worse.
yeah.
Uh
They
but
missed their opportunity to keep their position when they dropped their first clipper, when they
hmm
dropped their first clipper and their first liner,
yeah,
both of them, because everybody was anticipating it. We was like, man, once Andis come out, because we all we know is quality
yep.
from Andis.
Anderson wall.
Yeah, all we know. And so when they dropped, bro, and I mean, they had a good marketing campaign, like it looked good. But functionality wise, man, it
Yeah.
got hot super fast. The motor stopped working quick. It was got loud. I was like, it was like, like, oh,
Yeah, they were super loud. Like I had clients telling me like, bro, your clippers are loud. I'm like, hey bro,
yeah,
I
you
can't do
got your
nothing about it.
808s on them,
Man, I've oiled them down. They sound like they got a microphone on them. Like
man,
they are
for real.
just super loud. So, and I went through three pair of Andes Masters, the cordless ones.
So that means that's at least $600 spent.
Easy,
Easy.
easy. No,
$600.
actually 900 because I think the clipper was three. I think the clipper was 297 and the trimmer was
Mhm.
197. So the trimmer is,
So that's a
200.
rack. That's
Yeah,
over $1,000 that you invested
in like 3 years
yeah.
that I
And
can't get back.
I did the same, man. I did the same. I actually no. I bought one clipper. No, I think I bought two clippers. No, I bought one clipper and two liners.
Yeah.
and threw all of them away.
Yeah, I bought. So I actually have one right now that I just use as a trophy. I've never, since I bought them, I've never cut. They've never touched the head of hair. I just use them as a trophy because they're black and gold.
Oh,
Um,
that's the brand.
yeah, that's the brand. So, but yeah, they'll never see the light of day. They sitting on my shelf in my shop. Yeah, I ain't even had to charge them. Like they still, I took them out the box 2 years ago, and they still got a full battery. So, but
That's
even the
tight,
trimmers,
man.
man, like the cordless trimmers was terrible. Like they completely
Yeah,
missed the ball, and then they relaunched them. So I bought the black ones, and I was like, this ain't it. Like not even
still
the
ain't it.
shave with like this not it. Like they
Yeah,
just lack the power.
they lack the power. The part that got me, man, the most that I was most offended in was when you would be lining them, and then like when you started to apply pressure, they would lose power.
Yeah.
I was like, what is like? So you let go, and then they're like, and you put it back on. Then you put it back on. It like, like we ain't working. We ain't about to work. We ain't doing this. We ain't cut this hair. We ain't gonna do it.
Man,
I
help
was
us
like,
out,
come
Kenny.
on.
Help us out,
Yeah.
Kenny.
So
You
Kenny
got y'all
Depping back,
y'all
come
y'all got
protect
some
your
explaining
brand,
to do.
man.
Yeah. Even with Wall, man, like um man, Wall just kind of died with Andy's. Like,
Yeah.
so the thing is, I feel like Wall is still pretty good when it comes to cordless,
Yeah, they
but
decent.
the quality of material that they use is cheap. So you know they get overuse. Man, they break so easily. Like I went
Yeah.
through 3 pair of cordless Wall detailers. That's the trimmer.
Hmm.
And really good trimmer, strong. They line really good, just like the corded ones. But man, for whatever reason, um, it's like the material melts down after a while, and it
Mm.
begins to break. So,
Like what?
uh,
Like the actual the
not
hold,
the
like where you hold, or the
yeah,
blade.
yeah. So where the blade is, so it's not so much the body, but like where the blade is. Any little you adjust it a little bit too much. Excuse me, you adjust a little bit too much, it will break, or it
Mm.
gets complete overuse, it'll break. So I started using Babyliss when they came out with the flashlight cop, the flashlight cop looking trimmers and man, the gold things, man, the FX.
Oh yeah. Oh, because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
the hand they yeah they do they is a little
yeah,
cylindrical. I
yeah.
don't know if that's a word or not, but
It's gonna be a word
cylindrical.
today. So I
Yeah.
bought them and I was like, man, these are good. Like they
Good.
quiet. The trimmers, the FX trimmers, they do tend to get a little loud
They
over
get
time.
louder.
But with the low pros, that's currently what I use. I use the FX low pro, the clipper, and I had 2 pair of the trimmers. And man, they work
Which one is
fine.
the
They're
low
not.
pro?
That's the black ones.
Yes, bro. The black though. Are you talking about the black
Eh,
clipper?
yeah,
The
yeah.
black
Love them.
clipper? That's my favorite one, man.
Love them.
Oh, when oh see, so okay, this is what happened to me, man. And I'm just so upset that I didn't do this because I was just like, I should do this, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna save $1. But I because I got three, right? So I got two
Mm,
golds and I got one black. And before I bought my second gold, I was in the mental space of, man, should I get the black one again? Because I love that one. I love the way that
hmm.
it feels in your hand. I love
It's
it's
not
almost like it has
heavy.
a fade blade on it. It's
Yeah.
not the same blade as the gold one. And
Hmm.
so I was just like, I like this. I was just like, man, but it is a little bit extra. I'll just get the gold. They almost do the same thing. Man, now that I've been using it, I wish I had the other one. And I might still purchase the other one just because I like having more variety. Like,
Hmm.
so me, I like cleaning my clippers and letting them sit. I don't like cleaning them and then trying to use them 10 minutes afterwards. So I'll clean them and let them sit. So if I want to keep that same technique, oh, we gotta go. We have to go. And the reason why is because we got to keep y'all on the edge of y'all seat, man. If we keep talking, y'all gonna get bored and then not want to come back to the next episode. But this is like, we need to go into Clipper conversations, like go into Clipper conversations, how you take care of them and all of this stuff. And like strategies on how you use, understanding what types of textures of hair to
Hmm.
use, all of this stuff. Like we need to go into that, D, because this conversation it could literally go into another episode. But right
Yeah,
now, we out.
we out. This is Delmar, aka the Prince of. I'm gonna say it right this time because I always be saying another level of barbering,
But you
but
are though, like you're a
I,
part.
I am part of another level of barbering from the school of another level of barbering. But this is Delmar, aka the Prince, co-host of the one and only Royal X Grooming. I mean, look, I done messed up again.
It's all right,
The
man. It
co-host
is what it
of
is, man. We
the
we
co-host
good.
of the one and only Elevated Barbers podcast.
And
I'm
I'm
out.
Bradford Kelly, aka the business minded barber. Hopefully, you enjoyed some gems here on episode. What episode is this?
109.
109.
Season one,
109.
episode 9.
Yes, season
We
one,
nearing the end.
episode 9 of the Elevated Barbers podcast. Again, I'm out. It's time to level up.
Peace.